I was a sprinter. Like, high school, sprinter. Basketball player, sprinter. Like, distance running, never heard of her. I never thought that I would be there, but it was just so rewarding, so I'm glad I did it for sure.
The Fitness Movement is brought to you by Zor Fitness. We offer coaching and individualized program design, as well as educational content for coaches and athletes. It's all one place, zorfitness.com.
Standing all day is not fun at all. That's why I'm a sneakerhead. That's my, like, excuse for sneakers.
That's why you got to get a pair of $300 running shoes.
Yeah. I didn't get those, though. I'm getting a free pair of Hoka's because the Hoka rep, like, asked for my size, so.
Nice. So you got to, like, post about their stuff now, or what?
No. I just got to tell everybody to buy Hoka's when they come into the footwear department. How loud do, like, I have to talk? Or is it going to catch
I mean, it's right there.
Okay.
You'll be just fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, sweet. So you just ran the Pitt half marathon. That was a couple days ago at this point. Mm-hmm. Feeling recovered yet?
Yeah. I felt pretty recovered, like, just, like, after it, too. Like, I went to a workout class, like, the next day, so.
You were literally, like, doing, back in class, and I was like, I don't think I would be doing that just yet, but it's a good sign that you were okay.
Yeah. I mean, it felt good to move. I'm not going to lie. Like, Sunday was good with the run, but then Monday it was, like, rest the whole day. Just laid on the couch, kind of just.
If nothing else, like, you're traveling, which is always exhausting, and then you're literally just, like, on your feet for, I mean, the race itself, but then, like, also, like, just getting there and then waiting for people afterwards and, like, hanging around. It's a long time just to be, like, standing around.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because afterwards you, like, walk through, like, the corral, they say, like, at the end. You're, like, weaving through everybody. And I was, like, at a different time than, like, my mom and her friends and stuff. Our one friend, Cody, he was before us. So, like, he got done in, like, an hour and 45 minutes. So he was, like, waiting because they had, like, a party at the end for everybody. So I just met up with him. But other than that, I couldn't catch up with my mom, which kind of sucked. But
Yeah. That's the weird thing is, like, you're, like, you don't really know where anybody's at. Mm-hmm. What is that sound?
I don't know. Is it the fan?
I think it is the fan.
It's a ghost. I've watched too many horror movies.
Yeah, well, I just chugged my pre-workout, so this could either be a great show or
you're tingling
terrible.
Right now.
So we got like 15 minutes before it goes off the rails. Oh, gosh.
Oh, man.
But the course wasn't, I mean, it sounded like, did you guys get much rain there?
No. The sun was out.
Not enough to make your shoes wet?
Oh, no. My shoes were muddy, though, because, like, the night before it did rain. So, like, the after party part was, like, just in the grass. So, like, my shoes were trashed.
But then it was, like, started fairly early, so it never really got hot. It was May in Pennsylvania, which is very tolerable weather, so.
Oh, yeah, thank God. Because if it were hot, that would have been tough.
Yeah. And that was, like, one of the big things we talked about, like, leading into it. Obviously, like, well, this is, like, the longest race you've ever done. Mm-hmm. And I believe it was probably, like, doubled the mileage with, like, you know, that you had ever done, like, 2 months prior. Mm-hmm. Is that fair?
Yeah. I was a sprinter. Like, high school, sprinter. Basketball player, sprinter. Like, distance running, never heard of her. I never thought that I would be there, but it was just so rewarding, so I'm glad I did it for sure. Probably do another one.
It's one of those things, like, you get such a sense of accomplishment from doing it, and a lot of people, it's, like, on their bucket list to do a longer race like that, so it's cool to be able to check something like that off.
Yeah, now the half marathon's fine, but the marathon, I don't know. I don't know how people can go 13 more miles. That's just another mental block I guess I would have to get through, but I think the half marathon's, like, the sweet spot.
Yeah. It's a good one that it's, like, it really is, like, you know, a lot of people don't get the same sense of accomplishment if they do, like, something like a 5K.
Yeah.
Unless they were, like, on the couch beforehand or something. But, again, it's totally fine if people do that. But it's, like, for a lot of people like that, going beyond 10Ks where they start to get in the distance of, like, it's just, like, a grind for a lot of people. And, like, half's a great landmark to be at. So, yeah, one of the things, I was talking to Carrie about this. I was like, what should we talk about? She's like, I want to hear about her fueling strategy. So, like, we kind of went over it really briefly, but like, what did you end up actually like landing on to do the day of the race?
Okay, so I supplemented with Go-Go squeezes, and I had the
Highly recommend
Go gels, which is like the apple cinnamon flavor. It tastes just like applesauce.
Yeah.
So I would do like every 30 minutes, take a gel, and then drink 4 to 6 ounces of water. So the first 30 minutes I did like a Go-Go squeeze, next Go gel, and then back and forth, back and forth.
Alternating.
Yeah. So, and the water just stayed like the same, 4 to 6 ounces. But I think it really helped a lot. Like you could feel the gels and stuff kick in, and you're like, all right, it's time to go. Like my mile pace was like so much better every time. You could tell I took one, but I didn't stop at the fueling stations or anything because they didn't really have any like fuel. Yeah. They only had like water and electrolytes. But my pack, because I took my water pack with me too, I had my liquid IV in that, so it was like a double whammy.
It also encourages you to like, when it tastes good, you want to drink more of it if it's sweet.
Yeah.
So that helps. Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine running with like the cups with the water in them, like because with the pack I had on, it has a straw, so like I could literally just stick it in my mouth and just keep going, not worry about stopping or anything. Yes. And I also like having it because I'm like, I need water when I need it, and I don't want to like wait for the next aid station. So yeah, and it really worked for me. I could feel it every time I took those gels, and like it's tough with gels though because sometimes like it can mess up with your stomach.
And we talked about that. Like you wanted to alternate back and forth between like applesauce and like an actual gel that's going to be a lot way more dense in calories. Like obviously that could be beneficial, but then also there's more like opportunity for like distress if you just take in more calories if you're not used to it. So it's like you weren't quite sure. It's like, a half marathon, I mean, yes, it's a long race, but it's not like so long that you're going to be like really running into like, you shouldn't run into like crazy fueling issues, especially if it's cooler. So yeah, I think Dante, who's another client who did it, and he had reported very similar things to you. Like he enjoyed the course. It was like he was on his paces, like things were feeling light and good. And it's like, I think that was part of what helps it is like if you get the fueling right, it really, really makes you feel like you were good. Because you had a long training run. Yeah. Basically.
It was 10 miles 2 weeks before and then 7 the week of.
It was just shy, I think, of 2 weeks beforehand, which is sort of like the sweet spot. Yeah. 10 days to 2 weeks where you get that full recovery and then you can kind of taper back before you go. So, and that one didn't go well.
Which one?
The long run.
The long run.
You said it like you felt terrible doing
it. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. So what was different about that, like leading maybe the days before versus like your actual race?
So the days before, I think it's just like, well, the environment changed a lot too. Like just running out in town and like you get in your head because you're listening to music, like you're by yourself, you're not seeing anybody else running. So it's like that mental block is there. And then also my fueling strategies weren't good. Like I didn't really practice them as much as I probably should have because like we talked about, like the whole like your body's not in rest and digest. So it's like trying like granola balls or like just like solid food that like my body's trying to digest is probably not the best option. And I figured that out the hard way. But with the gels and stuff, I didn't really practice. I kind of just did an illegal thing and did it on the race day because they say never to try anything new on a race day. But
well, you knew what not to do, which helps.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I guess that was like, one of the things is you tried more, I don't want to call it real food, but essentially more real food, like whole food, versus, something that's already like, basically like in smoothie form, essentially. Yeah. We're going to have to like chew it up. It makes it a lot easier to digest. So like it's like, okay, if you have a longer race, you can go more towards like whole foods. Like for example, like Kara, she's running like 50K, 100K. Like you're out there for literally like the better part of a day running. So it's like you have to like, you can't just do gel. I mean, you probably could, but like at a certain point you can only take in so many. So it's like you have to start eating like more real food where it's like, or if like you're on like cycling, it's often, unless it's like a really short, intense race, it's like you're not bouncing around like you do for running. So it's like a little easier to like get something that you could actually like chew and eat. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a pretty normal experience.
And all that stuff too. Like they
Well,
had
you
like
also have to
oranges and then they were like standing along the courts with like Twizzlers, and I was like, oh, I can't even think about eating that right now.
That would be the fresh Twizzler. If it's like rock hard, chewing a Twizzler when
Plus,
you're running.
you don't know who's been touching them. Like I don't want some random lady on the street just handing me a Twizzler. Like I'm not eating that.
That's funny.
But like
that would not have been the first thing that crossed my mind.
No. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There was Twizzlers. There was, what else? Orange slices, bananas, apples.
Like a kid soccer game.
Yeah, I was like, I'll stick to the gels. But I had gum with me too. So like every time I would feel like kind of like queasy from the gel, which was very rarely, like I just put a piece of gum in. And the mint like just like kind of settled the stomach, so it worked for me.
I can't do that.
No,
I can't do gum while I'm working out.
Really?
I know some people who like chew gum all the time.
Oh, it's bad. I'm addicted, yeah. I go through a lot of packs of gum. It's probably not good for my teeth or anything, but whatever.
So, I think I started kind of helping you with your prep, like, I want to say it was exactly 6 weeks out.
Yes.
And, like, I want to say, like, prior to that, you had done, like, 5 to 6 miles, somewhere in that range, maybe
it was very
a few
stagnant,
times.
Not very consistent at all.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, it was like we didn't have a lot of time to kind of ramp up to that. You just kind of want to explain, like, what your weekly structure sort of looked like for your sessions?
Mm-hmm. So, I'd do, like, two run days, right? And then 2 gym days. And then if I wanted to add an extra one in, we, like, could add one. But I think I just stuck to the 4 days a week. 2 run days, 2 lifting days. But we, like, supplemented with the CrossFit, which I think was awesome. It wasn't, like, too extreme where, like, my runs felt like crap just from, like, my body being sore. But I think I stayed pretty healthy through it all, too. Like, my body was a little rough at the beginning, I think, just because of my hip flexors and everything that I've dealt with. But I think, like, the strengthening part of my programming was very good in that regard just because it just made me so much stronger to, like, take on those runs. So, but, yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, so you really didn't have exposure of CrossFit. So it was like you know how to move, you move well, but specific to CrossFit, you didn't have a lot of exposure there. So it was like getting you introduced to some of the movements because you want to now jump into classes. I don't want to get too far ahead, but sounds like you're planning to jump into more CrossFit classes. So it was like we wanted to introduce you to some of the movements, but without the same level of fatigue that you can do if you just do like hard workouts all the time.
Right.
And like doing it in an intelligent way where it's like it'd be really easy to like go in and you don't realize it and you did 65 squats the day before and it's like your knees feel like trash when you go to run. It's like so it was like that was like one of my main jobs, was just making sure that like what I gave you wasn't so interfering with the running that you were just like your legs were bricks when you go to run. And that was like my biggest thing was just like, make sure that the runs stay quality. So
And they did. I felt good. Like there was times obviously where you feel like, oh, that run was horrible. But it's just like dedication over motivation at that point. So
yeah, it was and it's like any like that middle ground of like, okay, you're not, you're actually into the training, but you're like still to the point where like you're not getting ready to like taper back yet, where it's like, yes, like run volume's creeping up. You're still doing all the in-gym stuff. It's like you're going to be a little bit tired. And sometimes it's just like reminding you of that too. Like, hey, it's okay that you're a little tired right now. Like you don't have to go out and race 13 miles just yet. So, well, sweet. I kind of alluded to it, but what's the next on the radar for you?
I want to do a high rocks really bad. I don't know what it is, but I've like this competitive edge is like coming back from being an athlete. It's like you just have something to work towards because like right now it's like, now what? Because like the half marathon's over. So it's like, now what do I train for? But I don't know. I think it might be a good idea to take some time off and just like focus on training and just like being in the gym, getting used to the whole CrossFit scene. I think I'm really going to get into that here at the gym. But other than that, High Rocks is on the radar. But that probably won't be till like fall. So I have like the whole summer to just kind of vibe it out.
And the nice thing about that is like, for a lot of people, you're looking at, hour 15 to an hour 30 maybe for High Rocks. So it's like you've already surpassed that time domain. So it's like, yes, you get other movements in there, and depending if you do pairs or not, that'll change things too. But it's like, that's pretty cool to be able to, like, you have that in your back pocket. Like, okay, I've ran a lot more than this already. So it's like a reduction in volume to get to there. It's just a matter of now you get to like train other aspects of movement, which is always kind of fun.
And I probably will stay running for the most part. Not like I did, like obviously training wise, but I did like how my body felt like and how I'm starting to like feel endurance wise, but I don't see myself getting away from it, which I thought I would never say because I'm not a long distance runner. But it doesn't have to be long distance. Like just going out for 3 to 4 mile run just to like feel it again. I don't know. But yeah.
Thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm a newbie at this, so. But it was fun.
Thanks for listening today. If you're someone who just started listening to the show, I would encourage you to subscribe so you can stay up to date. If you're someone who's been listening for a while, I would encourage you to rate and review the show. And lastly, the best thing that you can do to support our work is also the best thing that you can do for your performance. And that is by hiring one of our coaches. Until next time, stay the course.